Hi, I'm Connie Crawford. We're going to show you another video on how to transfer our patterns, which are 1201, a master pattern that comes in size 8 to 20 and 1x to 6x in all the cup sizes from A to F, H, and I. Then we're going to show you 1301, which is a same set of patterns with 1301, which is a shoulder princess design. Then we're going to show you how to use also our 1302, which is an armhole princess design. When you have finished selecting the pattern and trying it on, then if there are any changes, which there are very rare as you noticed in the previous video, that you would then take the pattern and staple it, not glue it, staple it to manila or lightweight poster board. Cut it out and punch through all of your dart markings and notch all of your notching markings so that you have a transferable pattern. We're then able to select our, we call it dotted paper or pattern paper, which has perfectly straight lines on it and perfect cross grain lines. What we're looking for is the straight of grain lines that have a set of letters, a set of twos, a set of threes, a set of alphabets. That's the straight of grain. It follows all the way through. Then we take our master pattern that's been transferred, trace it, lay it up, matching our grain to grain, in other words, a set of letters, match it up and trace it off. Do the same thing for the front, is match it up and trace it off, then draw on all your darts that you have within the pattern. We're going to show you here how to mix and match and make your own designs as simple and easiest way possible. This is really easy once your pattern fits you. So now you have your blouse block that fits you. You've traced it off. Once you've traced it off, you're going to make it the length you want it to be, longer, shorter. The petite ladies will usually want it a little shorter. The taller ladies may want it a little longer, but it's up to you, your proportions. And we're going to use pattern B6070 as an example right here. It has a two-piece stand collar on it, which also looks like this. It looks like this. Two-piece stand collar. You can actually take this collar and put it into any design you want it to be, if that's your design you want. You may also want just a plain convertible collar, which may be quite easy, and for you to just take that collar from anybody's pattern. Doesn't have to be mine, but of course I prefer mine. Or you can take even a Peter Pan collar and make it into the design you want it to be. Also included in this design was a yoke that we just simply drew in a yoke line. We would cut it open and add seam allowances each side. We drew in a back yoke. We would cut it apart and add seam allowances on both sides. The design also had a center back pleat right here. So we just went ahead and added a center back pleat right here. Now our design is complete except for our placket. In the pattern making book, it shows you how to make a hidden placket or a shirt placket design. The other thing you could do is just, once you have this pattern, you could use this actual shirt placket rather than having to figure out how to make it, and use this placket over and over and over again on any design. Then you would have, we did the same different placket in order to cuff the sleeve, and our design is all finished and ready to go, and it would fit you perfectly because your block fits you perfectly, and that's the way the garment industry processes blocks. We're going to show you a project that I have in progress right now, which is not quite through the pattern line yet, but we've used a mandarin collar in this case. We've added our facing to this, and we've added a seam right across here. From the seam, all that we had to do is slash up here and spread out like an A line about 3 times in order to make it this wonderful, cute design right here. And we did the same thing in the back, is added the seam and slashed and spread it up to here to add that nice flow to this design. And it creates a nice new look also. And we will add whatever a 3/4 length sleeve into this. In this case, we used our shoulder princess design so that we would have a shoulder princess look. And then we used a lowered neckline and put a detachable shawl collar on it. And again, you can take that pattern and put it into any neckline. All you have to do is lower the neckline. Let me show you how that is done. When you're lowering a neckline, you're going to need a French curved ruler. So you locate your neckline stitch line corner, and then you decide how low you want it, because everybody has their own different choices of how low they want it. Do they want the cleavage showing? Do they want it totally covered up? So once you do that, you're taking a French curved ruler and drawing in a neckline that ends up being that curve. It is not ever a straight ruler drawing in a straight line, because it doesn't give you any flavor to your garment. You can make it a little straighter than what I did if you want, by just not giving it quite as much curve. And that, but it still is a curved line. It is not the straight line from the straight ruler. With this design, we chose the Armhole Princess block, or 1302, to be able to make a lowered neckline and use the Armhole Princess and use the short sleeve and make it a full dress length. Nowadays, it's very popular to mix and match colors or prints in order to give you a very wonderful slimming look to a design. Make it your length that you desire it to be, and have an instant pattern, and make your facing for it. Some of you need to be shown how to make a facing since you're working with your own personal block. So what we're going to do is measure from the center front line, and that the rest of it might be a button extension or might be on the fold from center front. On a shirt, you would measure over around 2 to 3 inches, and I like a wider facing, so I always give it about 3 inches, 1, 2, 3, and parallel that center front line, and then do the same distance here and parallel the neckline until you can blend the two lines together, and that becomes your facing, is a copy of that from your block. And when you're making a pattern with button and buttonholes, we're going to show you now how to locate your center front line. Use the SimFlex ruler. What you want to know is this is your bust level of your garment right here. From that position, you're going to then space your button and buttonholes, starting at the bust level, going up to the neckline and down to the hem area. From that, we know that the button and buttonholes are going to either go up and down or across from there. They never go into the button extension. That is because the buttonhole itself has to be sewn to center front, and at least half of that button will be reaching into the extension, and the other half has to be extra fabric into it. And now you can see how easy it is to place button and buttonholes on a garment. And now you're a designer in the simplest way, but you're a designer. With this one, we're going to show you how to, we've traced off the sleeve, and how to take the sleeve from a short sleeve and make it a long sleeve, or you could do it vice versa. From here, we're going to show you that once you've traced off the sleeve on the pattern paper, you've taken the center of the sleeve, which gives you perfect grain, and line that up, and you've traced off the sleeve, lining all the grain to grain, and then drawing it in. You can now make it from a short sleeve into a long sleeve just by measuring your sleeve length from the shoulder corner right here down to your wrist. Do not bend your arm, because that makes it an inch longer and you don't want it. That is a method that somebody created years ago that didn't need to be created, because when you're doing long sleeves, you're adding ease into it with a cuff and a placket, which is shown in the pattern book. But just to make it a plain long sleeve, you're just going to take that measurement and measure from the stitch line all the way down to your length, and then square it across, and you're able to finish up the sleeve with facings or cuffs, whatever else you want it to be. This mix and match method that I really like is that, let's say you have somebody's sleeve that you just absolutely love. All that you're going to do is take from your bicep level, which is right here. Know where your bicep level is. This all fits from the bicep level up. You fit into your armhole and it fits into your capping and doesn't twist your sleeve. From here on, you can take anybody else's sleeve down and use their sleeve and their cuff, their plackets, so that you're not having to create things from scratch. You're just, again, another mix and match method. Thank you for watching how to mix and match to make your own personal designs and keep your custom fit. Look for other Connie Crawford videos that will help you with your fitting, sewing, and pattern skills.